Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Creatively Insane podcast. We will be uploading a new episode at the end of every month and every now and again in between. You can find our podcast on iTunes and Spotify, so please don't hesitate to go follow us there. Please stay tuned and subscribe for more episodes and more content, and enjoy the rest of the episode. Welcome to our first episode of the Creatively Insane podcast, and today I'm joined with Chris.
What up, guys?
Chris is a professional cardist.
Yeah, I'd say professional.
So he's a professional cardist doing cardistry, and today we're going to speak to him about all things creative, revolving around cardistry and all those kind of things. So yeah, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit further, or?
Yeah, okay. I started off doing magic. I started off in the mystical arts per se when I was in grade 3. I saw Andre the Hilarious Hypnotist come to Wonder Boys, and I wanted to give my mom a really cool Mother's Day present, so we went. And being too young, I obviously didn't get picked to go up and perform on stage and be hypnotized, because you can't actually hypnotize young children, which is annoying. But when he asked for a performer the second time, I put my hand up and he chose me, and I thought, okay, cool, and I'm really, really excited. Now keep in mind, I'm like this high. Now everyone on stage had been hypnotized to firstly not be able to perceive him, so he's kicking chairs around and they're freaking out. And he's like, okay, you're going to be Superman, and I'm going to raise you above my head, and I need you to do this. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. And he raises me up and he walks around the stage, and the crowd kind of claps, and then he puts me down, and I get mobbed by all these women and men trying to kiss me and thank me, and I'm just so anxious. But from that moment on, I was like, I kind of want to do this. To this day, I've still got a friend of mine that calls me Superman. But yeah, from then, we heard about the College of Magic, and then I wanted to go, but then couldn't that year because I couldn't afford it. But then later on, I think in about grade 7, I was reminded of it, so then went. And I was always really fascinated with hypnosis. It's why I actually wanted to go to the College of Magic, and turns out I didn't really learn it there. But long story short, I then started magic, and I enjoyed it. I had a knack for performing, I suppose, and in my mind, it gives people that were socially anxious like me at the time a kind of outlet.
To be able to speak to other people and things like that.
Yeah, to be able to speak to other people, and also just to kind of get over that fear of approaching someone and trying to start a conversation. Yeah. Not that it should be used as the only tool, but it's some way to start. Yeah. I also like their policy of, if you don't want to go and perform, they're like, tough, go do it. So it really kind of helps break that mold. But anyways, after a while I got kind of bored of magic, and I discovered cardistry. I saw someone doing a Sybil cut. I hope this deck isn't nice, it has a gold. But he was doing a Sybil cut, and it took me about 6 hours to get there. And not even opening it properly,
getting all the way through.
And being really ADHD at the time, I kind of liked it because it gave me something that I constantly do. I could just sit around and I could shuffle cards over and over and over again, and the creativity was kind of endless because you really could do whatever the hell you wanted. And I just started doing it. I started off really small, I learned bullets, and I learned molecule 4, blah, blah, blah. And then after a while, kind of got bored of it, but I still did it because it was something to do with my hands. Yeah. So I'd sit in my lectures at university. I'd piss off my teachers, so I'd have to sit at the back, and I'd just be sitting there doing this, doing cuts all the time, to the point where, in university, this one lady actually took my cards away, but you can't really do that to someone like me, because you take my cards away and I'm going to pick up a pencil and I'm going to start trying to spin the pencil. Then you take the pencil away, I'm going to pick up my phone, I'll be like, cool, alright, I'm going to spin my phone around, take my phone away, I'm going to find an eraser, and I'm going to start practicing French drops, but deliberately dropping it on the table just to piss you off because I'm that petty. And yeah, I kind of stopped because, I stagnated for a while because there weren't many people that actually did. Well, there's no one that did cardistry. I just had heard of some people that did a bit of cardistry here and there, but I never knew them. I could never actually communicate with them. And then a couple of years later, I think about 2 years ago, I got a random message on Instagram from Wesley, the guy that came up with the Gentus and Jokers.
Oh yes, I have one of his decks upstairs.
Oh, I really want one. But yeah, basically saying dude, you're really awesome, we need to meet up, we need to jam, you got to do something. And I was really excited. I was like, fuck, this is awesome. So we went to the village idiot and we jammed on the roof and we shot some stuff, and for the first time I actually had someone that I could flourish with that was actually like learning it much harder than I was at the time. And then after that, Carl from the Magic Shop was like, we're doing like a talk and stuff on Cardistry at the College of Magic, and we want you to actually come and talk about it because you're kind of the authority on it. I never really thought of myself as that, because to me, Cardistry was just something I did. I've never, people are like, how long does it take for you to do this? And for me, it's like, I just do it. Like, I don't put effort into it. It's just, I practice it nervously. And after a while, I got to a point where things were a little bit easier to learn, and then I started learning about half a flourish, and then taking that half and then trying to mix in my own thing, and then just messing around with it.
And that's where the creative part started to come in.
Yeah,
at that point.
That's where the creative process comes in, and then I gave the talk, and then I was like, cool, I'm going to redo my entire Instagram because this is actually my thing. I might as well, you know, if I am the authority on it, then I might as well look it. So I started doing that, and then through that, I was then able to start a WhatsApp group, Cardists Funny Cop, find other people that were actually into cardistry. Like I found Nadeem, who's phenomenal. Like he's
amazing.
It blows my mind. He's got the tiniest hands, but he can do cuts that I never thought were possible. Like he's almost re-sparked my creativity when it comes to cardistry, because I'm thinking of my hands in a different way, and I'm thinking about like this one-handed cut, for example, that Zach Mueller does. He's got really long thumbs, so when he does it, his thumb can go like all the way up there, and it's right in the crotch of his thumb. But I cannot do that because my thumbs are really tiny in proportion to my hands, and it's something that only I know because I would know it. So I have to vary it by allowing this to drop a little bit more and giving my hand a little bit more space. And it's teeny tiny things like that Nadeem kind of inspired me to do, and that I realized cardistry really is for everyone. It doesn't matter what size your hands are. It really doesn't matter. It's just your creativity. Just mess around. Don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
Which is kind of my motto in life. I don't like taking things seriously. I've taken things very seriously for a lot of my life, and I don't know, it gets boring after a while. And also when it comes to performing, people always tell me like, cardistry is not magic, cardistry is not magic, you can't put it into magic. And I would show them like like an isolation, and they'd pick up and go, I can do an isolation. And I'm like, so it also became a bit of spite as well. I wanted to spite them and be like, listen, I don't care if I'm the only one here, I'm still going to do this, I'm still going to get good at it, and eventually I want to get so good that you have to respect my skill, regardless of my skill in magic, which I've done. So and now there's actually like a teeny tiny community of people, and it's getting a little bit bigger. Like people have reached out to me, and now like people are being added to the group. These people just starting out in cardistry. But it's great because I never had that, and I want that. Like the lady that wrote that article about me, she used to do cardistry way back in the day, but there was no one here that did it, so she stopped doing it. And
cardistry is like a community.
It is a community, and I love it. It's just pure creativity, and I don't know, they just look like people that have a similar disposition to me. So yeah. But I've been doing it like 6 or 7 years now, something like that. But yeah, I wanted to start it here. I wanted it to be a thing. I didn't want anyone who wanted to start cardistry to encounter the same challenges that I did when I started, having like no one, because it's so much easier having someone to actually guide you. Like learning like an arm spread catch, for example. It's a deceptively easy move. Oops. Let me do that again. It's a deceptively easy move, but like the guy in the group last night, he was trying to learn it and he was failing it over and over. And then I realized, and the things only a cardist would know this, when you catch it, your hands actually got to go down with the momentum. If you try and meet it and come up, you're going to dislodge the entire cascade and it's going to fail. But if you go lower, it just falls beautifully and then you get it over and over again, and it's one of the easiest moves. And thinking of that, I thought of that years ago, but I've always wanted to make it simple because, like as I said earlier, when I started out doing cardistry, I was doing a simple cut, and this is hella complicated if you've never done it before and your hands don't have the flexibility. Like the one that ridiculous flourish that I do, but part of the display is like this. Now, to break this down, this part's really easy, but if you look at it from the back, I'm holding like just a packet between there, and you've got to have flexibility for that, and if you don't have it, it's going to suck and your hands are going to hurt. Also, you have to be light as well. A lot of people, when they're starting, they grip their cards like really hard, and that's what tires your hands out. So I wanted to come up with a way to teach people cardistry that firstly is satisfying, but secondly, you can learn it quickly and get that feeling of, wow, this is cool, I can do it, I want to learn more, instead of, I'm dropping cards.
Yeah, I'm getting frustrated.
Yeah, because that sucks. So I started just messing around with the Charlier cut and seeing what you can do with it, and you can do a lot. So you can start off like this, and then you can just leave that there, or maybe you can, alright. So you can do this, and then you can maybe turn it around, and then you can pick that up there, and then you can turn this, and then you can do that. You can either dump it, or you can go into another Charlier, and then you can maybe do one of those while you're doing that, and you can bring that around, do this, turn the deck over, and boom. And you've got a really simple combo.
Yeah.
Like technically that's not very difficult to do, and then you teach someone how to do that, and you teach them how to do a swing cut like this, and then after that you've got a one-handed fan, you've got a Charlier cut, and boom, you've got something that actually looks cool and is satisfying, and anyone can learn. I'm at the point now where I can teach someone like I think 3 flourishes in about half an hour, and they will be able to perform it, like unless they've got some kind of condition where their muscles aren't as trained in their hands, but even then I can succeed. Even like something like the worm. The thing I never liked about the worm was just the whole process. Well, I like the worm, it's really nice, it's very simple, but once I realized that I could change it, I like my version a lot better.
Yeah.
Because my version is a lot more explosive, it just pops out, and it's also technically much simpler. I noticed when it comes to the worm, the difficult part that most people struggle with is when they get here trying to figure out how to move this card like with their thumb and get it into the right place, and then having to change it around. It's a lot of little details that you don't know if you don't do cardistry that you won't necessarily notice. Whereas with mine, it's put it to the crotch of your thumb, Z grip, thumb goes up, index finger goes up, and you've got your display.
That's really cool. You use a lot of like terms, like cardistry terms, you know, that a lot of laymen wouldn't know. So if you had to explain, say, cardistry to a layman, well, how would you explain it?
As much as I hate to say it, I'd be like, you know how Dynamo does those shuffles? Those fancy shuffles, and like how it goes like that, and they'd be like, yeah, but if they really didn't know that, or didn't want to do that, I could just say, I could reference moving how you see me as well, and then I go into fun facts about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cardistry is. Okay, I'm trying to think of the simplest way to explain this. Is to move a deck of cards around in a visually pleasing way, in a way that looks skillful. If you had to imagine juggling with balls, cardistry is juggling with cards.
Yeah.
Like you do, I mean, I've seen some people juggle individual cards or individual packets, and there are aerial moves that you can do. But yeah, it's essentially juggling cards, moving cards around in a space, in a stylistic way. Yeah, that's how I would describe it.
Okay. And then, like, what do you think drew you towards it initially? Like, when you heard of it, how did you hear about it, and what drew you towards it?
I was in the magic shop, and I just started learning Sybil, and I was talking to Carl about it, because he's pretty much the only person I talked to. I didn't really talk, well, I didn't talk to a lot of people at the College of Magic at that time, and he showed me, I can't even pronounce it because I think it's in another language, but it's like Une Gren Habita or something like that. It's not even on YouTube anymore, but it was this guy called Pred, and yeah, it was the first video I'd ever seen, and firstly, at the time, people weren't making 4-minute long videos of cardistry. They were just showing some cuts. It wasn't big on Instagram yet. Dan and David just started doing their thing. Zach Mueller hadn't come out with Fontaines yet. It was still growing. People were still able to sell their flourishes on Theory 11 and probably get a decent amount of money, I assume.
Yeah.
But the first guy I'd ever seen in a video, he was, did you ever, okay, well, for people that don't know Devo was one of the first flourishes. He liked to use a lot of fans, and he was basically just really complex. And this guy named Prey took a whole bunch of his ideas and similar parts of his style and made the most fantastic video. And he like overlaid parts of, lines from the Matrix into it. It was beautiful, and I never imagined people could do those things with cards. There's still people I know that they cannot do what he did. Like those massive Carnahan fans, he could do them effortlessly. Like he looked like he had fanning powder coming out of his eyeballs. It was, yeah, like, and now no one knows where he is. He's just vanished. But that's how I got started. I was like, cool, I want to learn some of that. And then I found some of the first Fontaine videos that Zach Mueller was doing when he still came up with the red ones, trying to learn those unnecessarily knacky moves that he comes up with, like that card flourish, the card twirl that he does. I still don't know how he does it, but there's this effect that he does when he goes here. Oh, my hands are freezing. And he goes like that, and it looks really cool when he does it, but I can't make it look the same, so I just do that. But yeah, and then I went from there, and I started learning that, started learning here, started learning there, just a couple of things.
Where would you learn like these things?
On YouTube, or maybe I'd go on Theory 11, and if I really like something, I would just slow it down. But also I would pirate it. I was able to find a huge collection of magic online that was about every single edition, every single collection, because there were about 12 of them, was something like 50 gigs. So I would scroll through the contents and then YouTube everything that was there and see, okay, cool, this looks fun, because I didn't have the bandwidth, I was on like 4 megs. And yeah, then I would download those videos, or I'd go on Theory 11 and I'd look there, but like, I think I started off with Dan and Dave's original trilogy. That's where I learned Molecule 4. And then I went to Aviv Azor because he's got a very, I want to say brutal. He's got a very, like he manhandles his cards, he bends them, he forges them into what he wants. It's not someone who is light with them, he makes it into what he carves it. It's beautiful to watch. It's at the point now where if you watch someone, if you've seen enough flourishes, you can eventually identify them just by their hands and the way they shuffle, because they have a certain way of thinking when it comes to making their flourishes. And I like these flourishes because they were really knacky but also deceptively simple.
Yeah.
He'd use single cards, but he'd make these really weird displays. He's actually the guy that inspired Nick Stumphauser to come up with Nova, which is this. It's essentially a little bit more complicated, or it's a more complicated version of what Aviv did, because Aviv just did something like this, and then another card that he was flinging around, and Nick just took it a bit further by having a card there, and then a card there, and then a card there, and there, and there, and just, yeah. Although I do it like this, I do it completely differently to him. He has the flexibility to rotate his cards around his fingers, and I just don't. But yeah, you make it work for yourself. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, you did. Awesome. So then, carrying on, who you mentioned a lot of names like Devo and all those people, Zach Mueller, a lot of like really highly regarded cardists. And who would you say inspires you the most, and why?
That's a fun question. Do I have to go with one, or can I name like 3?
You can name however many you want, whoever inspires you.
Okay, so I'll start off with Dan and Dave because they were kind of the fathers of it. They were the first people to actually come out with a DVD that had Cardistry in a time when everyone was doing it, where, well, magicians were like, whatever, fancy and cool, go away.
Yeah.
This is this guy that I heard, I can't remember what his name was, but he used to go to Magic Convention and put glasses on and walk around with earphones and just flourish out of spite. And I like to be petty, but in the most unnecessary way. Like I won't do it in a way that actually is mean, but like I'll like if I want to piss off someone's mom, like maybe I'll like rearrange the magnets on a fridge and turn them like upside down, or I'll move something ever so slightly out of place that like you wouldn't realize it. Like it's not messing with you, but messing with you. Just because that's how I deal with it. That's how I deal with people pissing me off, because I'm not doing anything serious to them, but I'm still having a lot of fun, and you can't really get angry at me for like moving some fridge magnets. And if you do, like that's just hilarious to me. But sorry to get back to the question. Dan and Dave, Zach Mueller as well, because he started a revolution. Because of him, people started selling cards. People started making cards to sell. People did that. People told him like, nah, you can't make money from shuffling cards. You can't make money from doing what he did. But also, he started out as a magician. He is very gifted at sleight of hand. He can do some really cool things. Like you can do an anti-fairy. Like,
Yeah, I know.
one of the most unnecessary moves, but he can do it, and he's created a huge business. I mean, his cards sold out in 6 minutes.
Damn.
Kind of put that in perspective, Michael Jackson's last concert sold out in like 30 seconds or a minute, one of the two. But that's hella fast. And he created that. He created the market. There are red fontaines that are going for like $500 on eBay. And that's because of him. That market is because of him. The fact that people are into cardistry and that it's now an aesthetic that people, that cardists are able to do, like advertisements. He did an advertisement with credit cards where you just isolate them. He just helped grow it. Like the first cardistry con that ever existed, it wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for him and Dan and Dave and Chase Duncan and a couple of other people. I wish I could remember their names, but he's part of why Cardistry Con exists. He's part of why the community is as big as it is today. Also the verts as well. I love the verts because they make beauty and simplicity. The moves that they do are fundamentally very simple, but they look so elegant, and the way that they shoot it is just like you could just froth at the mouth just watching those videos. It's fantastic. Also, their design, making a deck specifically for cardistry, and the stock that they use as well, doesn't feel like this. It feels beautiful. And you can just accomplish things a lot easier. Like the Anaconda. The Anaconda is the best to do when you've got that deck, or just a fresh one, but that one's my favorite. But at the same time, I like that I've got a community of people that kind of understand tactile sensitivity. Because to me, cardistry is not, I'm not doing this I'm doing it to entertain people, but I'm doing it to entertain myself. I'm doing it to keep me from being bored. This is something I can do for hours. If I'm sitting at an airport and I got nothing to do, I can shuffle my cards. And it's an outlet for me, and in my mind, Dan and Dave and Zach Mueller and the Verts and a couple of other people, they would be my heroes because they have created an outlet for a lot of other people that are similar to me, also different to me, but also people that share that disposition, that way of thinking of something, people that understand tactile sensitivity, because not a lot of people do. Not that they really need to, I don't care if they do, but it's just nice. So Verts, Dan, Dave, and Zach Mueller would probably be my main inspiration. It's not that I really adopted a lot of moves from them. I don't think I can do any of Zach Mueller's moves aside from like a basic card isolation, and I can do one or two of Dan and Dave's moves, but it's about more than what they can do. It's what they've accomplished. It's what they've created for this world. It's what they've added. They've added a lot of value. It's really cool.
That's dope. And then do you think so do you personally make any money from cardistry? Why not? Why do you? And how do you feel that there's a way to do it? And which way do you think there is to do it?
I know that I don't know if all of them do it, but I know one of the virtuoso guys, I think he charges something, I think like $100 or something a session, like a Skype session where he teaches people cardistry. And that blew my mind because I'd never thought of it at the time. And then Jacques this year set something up for me where I was teaching a guy cardistry as well. I just go over the basics and I just give him stuff to learn. Didn't charge $100 though. I really should have.
Should have.
I should have. In my mind, I don't really feel right charging money to teach people cardistry because I didn't have, well, I pirated stuff, but I didn't really have to pay money to learn cardistry. And even if I didn't pirate anything, I could have looked at the contents of what he created and I could have slowed it down and I could have just broken it down like that and learned it. That's how, it's one of the ways I started, it's one of the ways I learned flourishes. It takes much longer, yes. And yeah, there are certain I want to say barriers to entry in that sense. So yeah, I can understand why someone would pay another person to do cardistry, but I would rather charge money if I know that what I'm actually going to be teaching is very valuable. I am at the point now where I feel like I could charge people, but I just don't want to.
Out of morale.
Well, for me, nothing that I would teach is difficult. And I wouldn't really feel right teaching someone something that's just like really easy. Like yeah, sure, it's good at something if I do it for free, but for me it's just about cardistry, about growing cardistry. If I don't want cardistry to be limited to anyone in that sphere, and yeah, I want to have fun with it really.
You want to make it accessible to all.
Yeah, for me, it's just put it out for free.
Yeah.
Like if I, like let's say I was like really, if I get big enough, someone's eventually going to, okay, yeah, if I was gigantic in cardistry and making like a lot of money from it, then yeah, I'm going to feel more of a dent if people start pirating my stuff, but I'd rather have a surety of something else making me money so that I wouldn't have to care about people pirating my stuff because they can pirate it. It's cardistry, deck of cards, like, I don't care. But yeah, so I wouldn't charge people. I have in the past, but I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Just come to the jam, learn some stuff. Want to learn? Cool. I'll talk you through it. Whatever. I will say, if I do get to the point in my life where I'm too busy, in the sense that if someone messages me and I don't actually have the time to teach them, then I will start charging. Like the virtuoso guy, I don't know what his schedule's like. But he's probably pretty damn busy. So I can imagine, yes, it would be very logical to charge someone for your time if you've got a big schedule, but right now I'm just a uni student, so all I do is study.
Okay.
All I'm going to do is study and being accepted next year.
And do you think that like cardistry can be something looked at as a professional job possibly? Like somebody who can actually do it, they love it and they do it every day and that's how they get their bread and butter?
It depends on how you look at it, because yeah, you're going to be doing cardistry every day, but the thing is where your money is going to come is from the content that you're creating and what you're actually providing. So if I wanted to make money out of cardistry, I'd be making money off firstly selling my own deck of cards. I'd be making money off of my tutorials. I'd be marketing. I'd maybe be making money off of, I don't know, advertisements. I could maybe be a hand model. Apparently that's a thing.
It is. I was also
it's lost on mine. I'd be screwed because I'll bite my nails.
Same, I was with you.
Nah, it wouldn't really stop me. I'd probably just go to a store and be like, fix this. But yeah, if I was going to make money off of cardistry, it wouldn't be just cardistry. I'd be making money via other things. So it would be, again, how do I word this? Yeah, to make cardistry for money, you have to come at it from different perspectives. You have to apply different things. So it's not just do cardistry. But at the same time, I could be wrong. I mean, Tik Tok is now a thing that is completely taken over. I've seen someone, all she does is she posts fun facts, and they're actually really cool. And in the past 2 months, ever since she got fired from her job, she made a TikTok about her job and they didn't like it, so they fired her. In the space of about a month, she's gone from like a couple thousand people to 1 million.
Yeah.
And that's what TikTok is providing. Like you've got army generals that are just going through drills with people that have got thousands of followers. It's cool, it's fun to watch. So with that, I feel like someone could use, if you just keep on giving content when it comes to cardistry, you could do that. You could make a name out of yourself, and then from that name that you make, you could then network, and that can then open up other business opportunities.
Like the credit card thing we were talking about.
And Zach Mueller got that because he, I assume because his black belt video that he did, it was one of his highest, it was one of his most viewed videos at the time. I assumed that someone saw it and was like, that is really cool. I got the magazine article because this lady wanted to write an article about it, and I was just the first name that came up. So yeah, it's just building up a reputation for that, having your niche and just going at it and just shutting out content. And
so you believe quantity. So you say shutting out content, and this may just vary a little bit off of Cardistry for just a bit of a while, but do you feel that like putting out quality content like less, or putting out quantity more? Which one do you think is more important?
It depends on how. Well, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to accomplish a viral video, then you're obviously going to want to go for quality. But it's difficult to just be like, I'm gonna make a viral video and then just go with it, because it's unpredictable. That's the whole point of something viral. Is something like, whoa, like that one video of when everyone's standing to sing the national anthem, and it's like, open up the safe, bitches got a lot to say, and, like, and then it starts playing the national anthem. That's viral because, like, why would that happen? So if you're trying to create that, then that's going to be really difficult, because you're also going to be stressed, and it's what happens to vloggers, I've heard, because they're constantly trying to make something cool, trying to in my mind, it's, well, not necessarily in my mind, it's not my idea, but I think it's a lot easier to just do your thing. Just create what you want, the way you want it, and just keep on doing it. Eventually, because like with YouTube, for example, at the moment, the way that I would have to get big on YouTube is creating a lot of content. Like Watch Mojo, for example, they publish a new video like every 2 days or every day. That's how you can maintain your viewership, because YouTube doesn't care that you posted a video 3 months ago, because they're not going to show it to you if you're looking for it. They're going to show you what's been uploaded right now. So the way to get on that bandwagon and to ride that wave is to just continuously create content, which is just whatever. Like there's another, I can't remember what his name is, but he just posts gymnast videos. Him and his gymnast, he used to be an Olympic gymnast. They just do fun challenges, like how many push-ups can you do, or like how long does it take you to climb up a rope with only your hands. This gymnast stuff, and that's what he does, and he has a lot of fun with it. It looks like a lot of fun, and it makes me think, damn, I wish I was fitter. But he just keeps on posting, because eventually someone will like it. Rule 34, but in a PG way. Someone will like it. Like this girl who just posts random fun facts. She was just doing it because she found them interesting. And what other people find it interesting too. If you just keep on shouting out content, you will eventually reach someone, because you're just doing it over time. And if you're doing it over a longer time, that amount of time, then you can then factor in more and more people have the opportunity to actually watch it, because chances are they're not going to find you and then like go 3 months back. So you've got to be present, you've got to be in their face, constantly shouting out.
And then is that the same with Cardistry? Because Cardistry is quite a small community. So would you say that you'd be able to, if you still just shut out that content, there's going to be people that are eventually going to find it interesting, even if it is such a small thing in any country, especially South Africa. Cardistry is a small thing. So you feel if you just even like keep pushing out the content, showing people what it is, that eventually there's going to be people that's going to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I don't really care if they do. In my mind, it's kind of inevitable that they will. But there isn't necessarily any given number. It could be any amount of people. I don't care about the amount of people. But in my mind, yes, if you continue to just put it out there, eventually more people will start to know about it. Like the way I sometimes get followers is like the other night I was at a market. And there was a deck of cards on the table. And I was like, why you got that there? And he was like, no, I was just messing around doing some tricks. And I was like, do you want to see a trick? And he's like, yeah, show me. And I showed him a trick, and I blew his mind. And I showed him some cardistry, and he thought it was epic, and he gave me like 3 shots for free. By the way, something that you should consider trying. I went to a store once to get a wireless mic for a gig that I was doing. And I said to the guy, if I show you a cool magic trick, will you give me a discount? Not expecting him to actually give it to me. He gave me like 500 rand off.
Yeah, that's like, a lot.
Oh. And then I wanted to take a lot and realized I could have got it for cheap, and I was like, but
you still got the discount.
Yeah, but silver lining. You're not going to know unless you try. But it's just that, and those people then follow me, and then maybe they're sitting at home and they're talking about something, and then maybe they think of me, be like, oh my god, do you know there's this guy that like does it? And because there's no one here, be like, yeah, there's the only guy in Cape Town that does it. And then they go to me, and then they see from me, they can see these other people in the future doing cardistry, and if they want to DM me, then they can be added to the group, and then they can come to our jams, and then they can learn, they can get involved. I just want to create that opportunity for them. But I feel like doing that long term, it inevitably will grow.
Okay. And then what is, like, I can see that, like, you're obviously extremely passionate about cardistry. So what do you think what does cardistry mean to you? What has the art form done for you? What are you doing for the art form, you know?
It's allowed me to be myself. So I've been able to be petty and be like, some people will show me a trick or whatever, and it's always my favorite joke, because magicians can do whatever they like, and I can just be like, but can you do this? I love that whole mentality, I love that joke, I think it's hilarious, and I like that petty side, but at the same time it's allowed me a distraction that I can have anytime, anywhere. It's allowed me the opportunity to make impossible things happen. Like when I feel like really ballsy, I'll do one of these, and then I'll try and catch it with my mouth, and sometimes when I'm performing, I'll be like, you know what, I'm just going to try this, and I'll get it the first time. You get it the first time, you look like a god. You look like a god, and people lose their minds. And I like that. I like validation. I'm not going to say it sucks. I don't need it, but I like it. It's great. So it gives me that. It gives me something that I can focus on creatively. So I can look at something, like as I said earlier, I learn half a flourish, and then I see, okay, cool. How does this work here? How does that work there? And that provides me entertainment for hours. So it just allows me an outlet in so many different directions, and it's constantly changing. It's never the same. I can always just do what I want. There's no pressure and nothing. It's just raw creativity, and I like that. And very few things offer that to me.
And then you speak a lot about cardistry is inevitably going to spread across the world and the border, and it's going to become a mainstream thing. So for my last question, which we're going to leave you guys with, is why do you feel the world needs cardistry, society needs cardistry? Why do you think cardistry needs the society?
Why do I think cardistry needs society, or why do I think society needs cardistry?
Yeah, put it this way. Why do you think that cardistry is something that needs to be in the world, that people need to know about?
It fits it can be a lot of things. So let's say I'm someone that doesn't want to spend a really long time learning cardistry. Maybe all I want to learn is how to shuffle a pack of cards. So, because most people when they shuffle a pack of cards, they do it like this, and they have to like do it on their legs, and it's kind of awkward. Maybe I just want to learn the inside of, let me put my fingers like that, so then I can do it in the air, and now I've got grip, now I can do that. Also, maybe I can do it upside down. Maybe I want to learn it with one hand. And maybe that's all I learn. And maybe, like at some party or whatever, someone has a deck of cards, and cool, I'm a guy that can shuffle a pack of cards, because people think I'm awesome when I just do this. I do that sometimes when I start, and they're like, holy crap, how do you do that? I'm like, you met me. And yeah, it's great. Or maybe I'm someone else that wants to, I don't know, sees that it looks cool and wants to learn it and goes from there. Maybe I'm someone that just likes to watch it. Maybe, apparently it's a really nice ASMR as well, so maybe you could like have your mic, terrible, and like move it around and like make noises. Maybe, like me, my ASMR weakness, the only thing that gives me tingles is a black lady's Xhosa accent, nothing else. But like speaking slowly and explaining something to me that like I don't even understand. I don't know why, but that gives me tingles. I used to sit in grade 7 and listen to my Xhosa teachers like, what is happening in my brain? And maybe that's the same thing for someone with cardistry. Maybe only cards will give them the ASMR tingles that they want. Maybe they're they were really ADD like me, and it just gives them a nice outlet. It gives them something to do, something to always distract them, something they can always have. Maybe it allows someone with schizophrenia to give themselves a way to see perpetual emotion all the time, and maybe that can calm them. You can also use it to hypnotize someone. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd rather just do something really simple, but you can do it that. It's whatever you want it to be, and you can make it entirely unique to yourself. I've seen people pick up a deck of cards and they've only been doing cardistry for about a year, and they've come up with way more original things than I have, and that's great, because you can do that. And I feel like that outlet can just provide a lot of value for people, and they can find value in their own way. So I don't really think that there's any one only single way that cardistry can provide value. I feel like it's just really contextual, but I like it because it's very broad, and I feel like a very broad contextually broad way of helping people is the best way, similar to how they treat the heroin addicts in Holland. They don't care that you're a criminal. They don't really care much about your background, as long as they know like a couple of things. But they will, the more you want to do it, they'll slightly lower your dose, and essentially they just help them get into an environment where they don't actually want to use it. Like with the cocaine trials that they did, they initially had just a rat and they gave him only food and water and cocaine, and he took cocaine until he died. But then someone was like, no, it's not actually not quite right. You put him in an environment where the rat was comfortable and he had friends and he could socialize and whatever, and then he didn't use it as much. It was his environment. And I feel like cardistry can help someone. It can be a thing to be added to someone's environment that can maybe help them in some way that I can't even conceive. Because it's just broad, it can be applied to many things. It's your creativity, it's endless. So yeah, I think that's about it.
That's really beautiful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on today, and I think a lot of people have learned a lot about cardistry. If they want to go learn, whether it's in South Africa or anywhere, where do you recommend they go first? They go right now. Where they can click off this video and then go straight to learn some cardistry.
If they want to, they can go to my Instagram page, solitaire_with_flair. They can DM me and I'll send them some really simple videos.
Link in the description right over there.
Link in the description! Yeah, and I can just send them something like really simple and easy to learn. Alternatively, you can learn an arm spread catch, or a spring, or just YouTube one-handed cuts, or you can go on Theory 11. There are plenty of free flourishes on that you can learn on Theory 11, or just type in Cardistry and on Instagram or YouTube, and just find someone that does something cool. Like if you really want to give yourself a challenge, find something that looks ridiculously impossible, and then just slow the video down and just analyze it and analyze it. You will eventually get it if you just sit there and just take the time to do it. So as long as you want to learn it, you can learn it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that's the wrap for our first episode of the Creative Insane podcast. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.